start out with basic rent, basic situation. You hear about all this money up front, and they call it the lease bonus money, the signing bonus money. There's no bonus about it, okay? It's rent. And that's exactly how the IRS treats it. It's rent. So don't let the words throw you. It's rent, period. There's no happy time bonus about it. And here's what I'll call a standard lease. You'll have a primary term, which is around here. Most of you guys are 5 years probably. Anybody wondering? No? 5 years, by the way, is long. For the rest of the country, you go down to the past, 2 to 3 is much more common. Some areas, 6 months, even, with a commitment to grow. So 5 years is extraordinarily long in this industry. But if you read the lease, it'll say, we're paying you X dollars per acre for 5 years. But you will never see a period after the 5 years. You're going to see a comma. And then it'll say, and as long as, or so long thereafter. Now you got to read so long thereafter what? That's critical. You got to understand what that part is. You really need to understand it. That's what determines when they get into secondary term. Hopefully, it's production in paying quantity. So they come in and drill. Now they're in a secondary term. Now, hopefully, you're getting royalties. You will never get another penny in rent after they're in the secondary term. That's done. It's over. It's done. But once they get into the secondary term, they can be there forever. They can be there through your great-grandchildren's lifetimes, because that happens all around the country. Down in Texas, I know people are 4th, 5th generation on the same lease. So it's important to understand what's in that lease. It's absolutely critical. Everybody, at least most people I talk to here, are completely focused on that upfront money, and they're not thinking about the royalty rate. That upfront money, let's face it, anybody can be blinded by the money. I mean, Pennsylvania, $6,000 an acre. I don't know what anybody else has been offered here. But $6 grand an acre is a lot of money. Until you realize down in Haynesville, they're getting $6,000 to $13,000 an acre. And that's low compared to what they were getting back in 2008. $25,000 to $30,000 an acre was very common in Haynesville on the Louisiana side. So what looks like big money, you gotta think differently than you've always thought about the value of your land. You may have bought your land for $1,000 an acre. It's not the land they're after. They could care less about your land. It's what's down underneath, because that's gold. That's what they're really after. The royalties is just a percentage of the value of the gas taken off the property. That's during your secondary term. The royalties, I did a projection using $5 gas. Now, I don't know what I closed at yesterday. The day before it was $3.85. A unit is 1,000 cubic feet of gas, room temperature, room pressure. That's how they actually sell millions of BTUs. But roughly, just about everybody calls it in units. And that's a low price. But I did a projection using $5 gas, which is still cheap. And over a 10-year period of production using the Chesapeake decline rate curve, the royalties dwarfed that upfront money. Even at $6,000 an acre, the royalties came in 5 to 6 times that amount. Pay attention to the royalty rate. Don't worry so much about that upfront money. Yes, sir.
Sorry,
sure.
You might mention what some of the royalty rates that you've seen now that it's progressing.
Well, back 2 years ago, 12.5. They wouldn't move up 12.5%. They didn't have to, because there's so many people willing to sign these leases. 12.5% was, that's the state minimum. And that was the floor. They were not come up off that at all. And then finally in 08, prices started to break. They went up to 15%, big move. Currently in Pennsylvania, the rates we're looking at are 20%, and one or two that are 21%. But even that's low. Nationally, 25% is more common. You get down to the patch, down in Texas, Oklahoma, and so forth, 27% is more common. And you see some 30s. Haynesville, Barnett, you'll see some 30%. And that's where the real money is. And the key is, watch out for the deductions. It doesn't make any sense to worry about getting a 25% royalty rate if they're going to deduct all these expenses before they figure that out. So in your lease, make sure there are no deductions. And I don't care. I swear these guys are going to tell you, well, that's common. We do that with every lease. No, they don't. There are lots of leases out there where they don't deduct. It's like any other business deal, you know. If that's what they're their expense.